Ever felt overwhelmed by all the different apps that you can add to your Shopify? Well, you're not alone. Not a week goes by or an e-commerce brand asks me, hey, should I install this app, yes or no? And the thing is that you need to be very careful with adding all these apps to your Shopify store, because not only your site can become very slow with adding all these different apps, it also convolutes your entire store management. However, some things cannot be done without an app, or you would need a lot of developers and a lot of time and money in order to develop something yourself. And it makes more sense to download and install an app. But which apps do you really need? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you the best Shopify apps that you can use in order to build, manage, and grow your store faster and easier. Now, I've either used these apps myself personally, or I've seen our clients use them and actually scale their brands using those apps. So if you're looking to do just that, be sure to watch the video until the end. The first app that I want to highlight is eCommerce. This is a super useful app that you can use in order to increase your average order value. And what this does, it allows you to create bundles, it allows you to create cross-sells and upsells, and also post-purchase upsells in order to give that average order value a boost. And you can see here what they have in store. And there is one particular feature that I really love about this app. And when we actually did research and did user testing on the websites that use that functionality, we saw that the visitors really loved the functionality, and it actually motivated them to add more to their cart. And that is the option to give gifts. So you can unlock gifts if you have a certain threshold. Now you can see here an example, and let me zoom in for a bit, where you can see that if you reach a certain threshold, you can either give a discount, but what they also offer is that you can say you get a gift, you unlock a gift at a certain threshold. And it's very powerful because people are curious what that gift is. So they're going to add more stuff to their cart. But more than that, it kind of feels like they are receiving something. It's something tangible. Like a discount is not something that they get. It is something that they don't have to pay. But you get a bit insensitive with all the discounts that you usually get from stores. While a gift is something novel, it's something new. And it's like, hey, I kind of have that gift. It's within my reach. And if I don't add more, I just don't get a freebie, and people are very sensitive to these freebies. So it's a very powerful way to increase your average order value whilst making it also fun for your customer. Now, that's not the only thing they have, and that's also why I like this app. They have more options. They can add a product page cross-sell. You can also, if you have subscriptions, add a button here in the cart where people that place a one-time order can easily upgrade to a subscription, which is of course more interesting for you. And of course, you can also add bundles. Now, what is also great about this app is that their support is really good. So if you need some customizations or you need a certain feature that is not there yet, then they will try their utmost best to help you. And that is sometimes what is missing with apps. It's usually a plug and play kind of way where it's kind of fixed in what you can do. Well, I noticed from experience that their support really tries to help you if you need something customized. So if you're looking for ways to increase your average order value, then I would really suggest looking into this one. Now, the second app that is really important to have if you are selling consumables or things that people need to buy regularly or can use regularly is to offer a subscription. Really think about, can people use my product multiple times? Of course, if you're selling supplements, if you are selling consumables, then people are going to use or can use your product multiple times, and therefore you can offer a subscription. And there are, of course, also brands that use this in a very innovative way. So if you are selling shaving equipment, that you can have a subscription on blades so that you don't have to go through the hassle of constantly ordering these blades whenever you need them. So think about it. Is my product something that people can buy regularly, or is there an accessory to my product that people will need to have to either top it up or to fill it up again, or something can go blunt and then they will need to replace a blade, etc. If you see that you have a product that can offer something like that, then you have a base for a subscription model. And what it does, it creates a predictable revenue stream, and therefore you always have a bit of a predictability in your numbers. So you always know that you at least the next month get this amount of revenue, because not everyone will immediately unsubscribe to their subscription on day one. So of course there will be churn, and you need to accept that, and that is fine. But it is good to offer this subscription in order to get that predictable revenue stream. What is also good about this app is that they offer a way for people to manage their own subscription. So if they want to change the frequency, if they want to change the products in their subscription order, or if they want to do something else, if they want to stop it or pause it, then they can do that. It's very important that when you offer subscriptions that you give people the control to pause, to stop, or to amend it. Because if you don't, then people will be very hesitant to do a subscription, or they will have a very bad experience experience because they feel like they need to jump through hoops in order to get something changed. Besides that, it also offers a way for you to manage the subscriptions on their behalf. If you need to make changes, because customers will sometimes ask you to change something, you can easily manage that, and you can also easily see the data of what your churn rate is and what revenue is going to be coming in the next month. So if you're a brand that can offer subscriptions, then Recharge is definitely an interesting app for you. Now, the next one, the third one, is also super important, and that is about compressing your images. Now, you can of course compress your images already beforehand before you even upload them. But the thing is, sometimes you already have your website built and then you notice that your images are too big. And then it is a lot of work to get them all compressed and optimized for web. And when you have this app, what it will do, it will compress those images for you. So it saves you a lot of hassle. And it also offers you to manage the lazy load function. Now, if you're not familiar with lazy loading, what that means is that not all images will be loaded as soon as someone lands on your page. Just imagine an image gallery. The first image needs to be loaded right away because that's the one that people will see immediately. But the other photos or the other images in the gallery, they don't necessarily have to be loaded right away. So if that can be loaded in a lazy way, it can load a bit later on, it will speed up the first load of the page. So that is a very interesting function in order to speed up your page. But besides that, it's very important that your images are compressed and optimized for speed, because it is very important to have high quality images because people cannot feel your product. They can only see your product. So if they can zoom in the images, if they can see the details of the product, then that will reassure them and they are more likely to buy. But if you have a lot of high quality images, then of course the file size will be so high that it will slow down your site, and you need a way to reduce that. And this is a great app to do so, to make sure that your speed is optimal. Now, the fourth app that I really recommend having is Judge Me. It is a way to collect and show reviews. And what it really does well is what you can see on this website is that it allows the user to have a lot of control about how they see the reviews. So if you only want to see the 2-star review, you can click on the 2 stars. Or if you want to see, let's go again to all reviews, but you want to see the ones that only have an image, or you want to see the images first, so you have a better idea of how it looks on the users, or you want to see the one that was most helpful, you can see that. Because sometimes if you do a good job and you have a lot of reviews, it can be overwhelming for people. And if they can sort, or if they can even search, so if you're selling fashion and people want to know if the size is a small fit or a wide fit, then they can see in the reviews what people are saying about it. They can search for it. So this is a great way to give people a lot of control about reviews. And of course, if you have this app, it also forces you to work on getting these reviews. Because if you have a lot of reviews, it will definitely help with your conversion rate, and it will definitely help you scale your business, because it helps people to see information, to get validation about the product and that people are actually satisfied, and also what some of the downsides are, because your product can have downsides, but that is not a deal breaker for everyone. But if they can see what the downsides are, then it also shows that you are very transparent and that you're also very honest in your product description and what you offer them in your information, and therefore their trust will be higher. And when trust is high, people are more likely to buy. Now, another app that is really good to have is an app like Smile.io. And what this does, it allows you to create a loyalty system. So if people are coming to your site and they buy from you and they get points, then the next time that they want to buy the same or similar product, why should they buy from a competitor? Because with you, they already are saving up points. And when you save up points, then you are eligible to get some discounts or freebies or other perks. So it also increases the retention. Besides people being more satisfied for getting extras, they are also more drawn to your website. They don't want to lose any points that they have built up. So you can see here also that it can work really well with also the information that it provides. This is a brand that has this app, and it shows you what you can do. So how can you earn it? How can you redeem it? And what can you redeem it for? What will you get when? And also the different levels that you can be as a loyal customer. Of course, if you have more points, you have more perks. So then people also have a lot of clarity of what they can do. They even have an option where you can show with the products how many points you receive. So if you offer different volumes of a product, so you have maybe a 200 milliliter and a 500 milliliter version of a product, you can also give extra points with the 500 milliliter product so that you incentivize people to actually go for the bigger volumes, which of course is better for your profit margins. So if you are looking for ways to increase your retention and customer satisfaction, but you don't want to go through the hassle of creating an entire loyalty system yourself, you can use this app in order to set this up, and it just integrates neatly with your Shopify. Now, the last two apps that I'm going to recommend might surprise you because they are different kind of apps. They are more like plugins that you can use on your website. And the reason why I want to address these two is because they are super important, especially the last one. Now, Klaviyo allows you to send emails and SMS and even app notifications based on users' behavior. And this is very powerful. Let me show you an example here where you have a certain flow. And this is a welcome series. Now, people can subscribe to your email list and they can come into a flow. And this is going to trigger emails. Now, flows are very interesting because they are being sent out based on someone's behavior. Whereas if you have a newsletter or you have a promotional campaign running, you just send it out whenever you are going to schedule that email. But flows are being triggered by an action that someone does. A good other example is in a browser abandonment or an abandoned cart email. An abandoned cart email gets only triggered if someone places something in their cart but doesn't continue with the order, so that you can remind them. Another example is a VIP flow. If someone, for example, orders 5 times, you can make them a VIP and say, hey, you're a loyal customer, you get some extra perks, or at least you get a thank you. So that's based on the behavior that someone does. And the beauty of Klaviyo is that it allows you to customize it as much as you want. You can trigger it based on anything. You can even trigger a flow based on a product that someone viewed or a product that someone viewed 3 times in the last 2 days. Like, there are so many customizable options here that makes it very powerful. And what I like to give also as an example is if you have an abandoned cart email, let's assume that this is an email flow for abandoned cart emails. What you can do is you can make a distinction between the value that people have in their cart. So you create, for example, a conditional split, that's what it's called. And then you can say, okay, if someone has done something, then do this. So you can say if someone clicked an email, if someone received an SMS, if someone was active on the site, if someone placed an order. Like, there are so many different options that you can choose. Then you can trigger something. And with an abandoned cart, you can say if someone has a value that is higher than $200 in their cart, I want to send a different email. You might want to send an email that offers a bigger discount because you really want to get that order. So there are a lot of ways that you can apply these flows and trigger them based on certain behavior. And email should be about 20% of your online revenue. So if you don't have that 20% yet, you can use a good strategy in Klaviyo in order to get there. Now, the last so-called app that I want to highlight is Google Analytics. Now, you might wonder, or you might question, that's not really an app. Well, there is an app that you can use in order to have a good and neat integration with Shopify. It collects the most important data points and, of course, also the purchases, so you know what is happening on your site. Now, why it is so powerful is that Shopify also has reporting, but it is very challenging to get insights out of that because you cannot combine as many data points as you can do in Google Analytics. For example, in Google Analytics, you can see how many people are on mobile and desktop, but also how many mobile users see a certain page, or what traffic source sends a lot of visitors to mobile that land on a certain page. Like, you can go as far as you want and you can add a lot of metrics. So it is a better tool to get to the root of the problem and to find the real bottlenecks and the opportunities that you have on your site. Because if you want to grow your site, if you want to scale your business, you need to know where to focus your attention on and where the bottlenecks are. It doesn't make sense to optimize your product page if your category pages or your navigation are the problem. And if you are just shooting in the blind, then you're also going to miss the mark and you're not going to be able to scale. So here, for example, you can see for this particular account that the mobile conversion rate is a lot lower than desktop. But you also see that mobile has a lot more users. So if you could just increase that conversion rate by a little bit, you will have a lot more revenue. Even the average order value is lower on mobile, and people also spend less time on mobile. So you see there's a lot of things that can be done here in order to increase your revenue. But you can also say, okay, I want to know where people are coming from. So you can remove here, for example, device type and add your traffic sources. And then you can evaluate how your different traffic sources are performing. And then you can see that you have a lot of people coming directly to the site. You have a lot of people coming through Klaviyo, and they all perform better than the average. But you have also a blog. Well, it actually makes sense that blogs don't convert very well, but you also see here that a Facebook mobile feed is not converting at all. Or Google CPC is actually below average, and you can wonder, hey, is our CPC doing the best it can? Especially since organic is doing so much better. And there are also here campaigns that have even a conversion rate below the 1%, but gets a lot of traffic. So you also know where to focus on, what campaigns to improve, but also maybe what campaigns you actually should stop. So this allows you to get a good picture of how your website is performing, how your traffic sources are doing, maybe also what pages have a very high bounce rate and you need to work on that. And that shows you what you can do and where you need to focus on in order to improve your site. And that's why I wanted to highlight this app as something that's very important and crucial for your Shopify store. But remember, having the right tools is just the beginning. You also need to know how to use them effectively in order to maximize your results. Now, if you're an e-commerce brand that is looking to scale to 7 figures and beyond, and you want me to help you with the strategy, the optimization, and the growth, then check out the first link in the description and book a free call with me today. And once you do that, check out this video before you redesign your website.